Do you know what you're listening to?
You're listening to Thoughts of the Week.
Oh, how's that?
What's going on, everybody? Thoughts of the Week podcast. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Thank you for everybody who's watching. And thank everybody who's going to be watching the replay. Most definitely, I think you will want to share this podcast because of the recent going-ons, I should say, regarding Oprah. Gail. Some people are naming them Okra and Kale. But I'm gonna put my little twist on the names here. I'm gonna say I'm gonna still use Okra for Oprah Winfrey. So it's Okra Winfrey. And for Gail, I'm gonna use Stale King. So when you have Okra Winfrey and Stale King, you end up having Stale Okra. Alright? That's what it is. So again, I thank you guys for coming in and joining this show. Alright? You are definitely rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast. All right. So, ladies and gents, we're going to get started with the show. No need for promo. All right. No need for it today. We're just going to get right into it. All right. So, let's do it. All right. Once again, everybody, thank you for coming in. Welcome to Thoughts of the Week podcast. Welcome to Thoughts of the Week podcast. Let me just check a few things out here. And, there's been some interesting stuff going on. A lot of you probably know and are aware of. And then again, there are some who still aren't aware of what's going on. The latest was the situation with Gayle King in her interview with the basketball player, Miss Leslie. I think it's Lisa Leslie, I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people were getting a wake-up call and starting to see a great big picture forming that's becoming clearer and clearer with each time Oprah and Kale, Okra and Stale. You got Stale Okra. So it's Okra, Winfrey, and Stale King. All right. Okra, Winfrey, and Stale King, which totals to Stale Okra. There's things that's starting to people are starting to wake up and see what's really going on. A lot of men and women. So I'm not going to do too much talking about the men because I got another podcast that's going to be very interesting. The next one after this one, 61. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I might do it in a couple of days. I might do it in a week. Just depends on what happens after today. But I have another podcast I'm going to dedicate or speak to the black men and black women. All right. and it's going to all tie into some of the stuff today, and it's going to have its own little things going on as well. All right. So what's going on here? Let me see here. Let me see what's going on here. Let me turn on. I don't know why the desktop auto went down, but anyway, like I said, we got stale okra, and we all know the comments that were made, right? By the questions that were asked by Gayle King. A lot of people were highly offended, and a lot of people are starting to see that there's some sinister stuff going on, and it's not adding up. So today's show, because of things I was looking at, including Gayle's interview, including the things going on with Okra, Stale's interview, with Stale's interview and Okra, and a lot of other little things going on. I've noticed that there's been people talking about, when they have Okra was trying to go after Russell Simmons, and she went after Michael Jackson when he was dead. He was already dead. Plus, people were finding out that the people who were being interviewed, the information wasn't adding up. And so that started making Okra look a little bit stale, if you will. And so then she had the nerve to try to holler at Russell. But yet I understand that HBO, is it HBO? I think HBO is still going ahead with the with that documentary on Russell Simmons. So even though Okra backed out of the situation, I think what's happening is that HBO is still gonna take on that project regardless. But what I've been noticing is that whether it's entertainers, rappers, athletes, everyday folk, when they would mention, I got to stop saying So you guys, when y'all do these shows, that's going to be important, especially when you interview people. So, but when I've been hearing people talk about Okra and Stale, a lot of names, the names that you keep hearing a lot is Harvey Weinstein. You might hear one or two other names after that. Lately, I've been hearing, hey, they should be going after Harvey Weinstein, do documentaries on him. And every now and then I hear some other names like Les Moonves. I heard Woody Allen being thrown in the mix. But it's normally, and then I hear a few other little names, but not too many names. So this is what sparked me to do this particular podcast. Was one, the fact that Stale and Okra never seem to speak up about any of the white guys that are involved in sexual allegations or accusations. They never seem to speak up about them. Of course, Oprah had the little spiritual advisor dude, and he was suspected of some sexual type stuff, rape or whatever. Supposedly the 300 different types of women, trying to take his advantage on women using religion. She never spoke up about that. Then there was some accusations about some lesbian type of cult thing with her school in Africa. It was really a front for something else. And of course, if you start putting pieces of the puzzle together and connecting dots, you might find out Oprah and Epstein is connected in that web somewhere. And so you don't know if the school in Africa was a Epstein Okra connection. We don't know that, but it seems like there's things guiding in that direction. So when I kept hearing all these names or these minimum amount of names, I said, man, there's got to be more, and people need to know about it, because it's just not, you're not seeing these, it's just going to be black dudes. You're going to keep on calling them out. And another thing, now that I say that, is that it's also been mentioned, well, if you're going to keep calling the black dudes out in the entertainment industry or whatever, media or whatever, then be fair across the board and start talking about other people. And so there's been people on Twitter and, caping for claiming they were doing just that when the receipts was pulled out that they weren't. But I said, you know what? This sounds like Zaddy Protection. Y'all know, like the Witness Protection Program, when witnesses testify and they're looking for some protection so they don't end up getting taken out for testifying in high-profile cases. Well, it looks like we got Zaddy Protection Program as well. And I said, oh, so we have a Zaddy. I was thinking that, like, this sounds like, instead of witness protection, Zaddy Protection. And I was like, wow, that's real interesting, because a lot of people have been Matt Lauer. That name comes up. Kevin Spacey, as I heard that name pop up here and there. But it's just like a little handful of names. But when I started looking into some things, I found out it was a whole bunch of names. And so I thought I'd do this podcast simply to bring them out. Bring out the list of the Zaddies who seem to get protected and no one seems to mention. And I did that because, just like I said, me myself was one reason. Me myself was like, why they keep just mentioning these little bit handful of names? As far as the black folks, when they're upset, these are the names they seem to bring out, and rightfully so. But at the same time, I was hearing like, you keep protecting them. And so I said, let me look in deeper, because there's got to be more people than that. And when I started looking around, I found some names. And so whether I get into all or show you all the names, we'll see. I don't know how long the show's going to be. But I'm going to show you some more names other than the normal ones. I'm going to show you those too, but I'm going to show you some more. And we're going to show you what they've been accused of. All right? We're going to show you what they've been accused of. So, without no further ado, before we get into that, I want to play, just to kind of set the stage a little bit. Of course, we know Oprah recently had some comments. And so what I want to do is just play a little bit of that. And then I'm going to play, or Okra, I keep giving her name. Okra was putting out some things, dog whistling and trying to make things bigger than they really are or were. And this was in regards to somewhat, y'all know Snoop had his comments. Lil Boozy, I think I heard a little of his. He went off a little bit. I even heard Ricky Smiley chime in more or less on Susan Rice. And I'm not going to go into Susan Rice today. I'm going to say that for the podcast 61. And there's a reason for that. Like I said, that's going to be an interesting podcast as well. They all interesting. But I'm going to hold off on Susan for a little bit. But Ricky Smiley has some words for Susan Rice. You know, she was down with the Obama team. And so I'm gonna hold that card until the next podcast, Susan. All right. So, but there were some comments Ricky Smiley made about Susan and her comments about, and we'll go in again, like I said, we'll go into it on the next podcast, 61. But on today's podcast 60, we're going to talk about, the show's going to be mainly the Zaddy Protection Program. But let's get into it, man. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's go into a little bit of what Oprah had to say from recent comments here.
Wondered just how she's doing, and
she is not doing well. May I say she is not? She is not doing well.
Oprah.
May I say she is?
So you guys can hear. Let me play that again. I'm gonna make sure this is coming up first of all.
She is not doing well.
Okay.
Oprah gets emotional defending friend.
All right. She put on that little show of pretending. If you guys seen the video, you know what I'm talking about. She started putting her so-called cry face on with no tears coming out. You know, you have to put out an acting show and, oh, she's not doing well. And then I'm gonna make it kind of quick. I'm not even gonna play it because I want to play something else real quick to show y'all, which that will transition into me going into what we're talking about today. But Oprah was, saying, "Oh yeah, she's receiving death threats and this, that, and this, that, and the other." You all know, for those who've seen it on the Today Show, you can look it up. And like many were saying, and like I was saying when I heard it, if there was really some death threats, don't you know they'll be going out and investigating where them threats are coming from? And we all know when it comes to certain races, and it's very unlikely not, but if it's a certain race, a person who did it, they're not gonna give them the kid gloves. They're gonna give them that MMA work. All right. And they're gonna find this dude or girl, whoever made those threats, and take them to jail. If there were some real threats. Now, if they want to keep on going with the facade and the charade, they're gonna pick somebody up just to make it look good and say the person did it, but they're gonna have some lame comment or whatever that's gonna clue you into, and that's BS. So if there was some credible threats, they're gonna find the person who gave it. And they're going to put in that work. And that's going to be the end of it. And then she threw in Okra, threw in the Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby kind of chimed in on Twitter. They let him get his tweet on in jail. He got some pull in jail, I guess, that he can get his tweet on in jail. And I'm not going to, you guys have to look that up too. I've read it. I've seen the comments. He's pretty much, backing up Snoop and things like that, kind of changing his tune from the way he used to be back in the day. He's starting to realize, they got him without evidence. And that's kind of crazy. And put him in jail. So I guess he got a final wake-up call to realize he can have the millions he wants, but when they want you, they're going to get you. Just because they don't like you. Or they don't want you around in certain areas. So, but Okra tried to do her little trickery in the interview and try to boo-hoo and kiki and, put on a show. But right now, this is what I'm going to do to set the stakes. I really want y'all to see these names, and I really want y'all to see. That way you have something to add and tell folks and bring up, instead of just the Harvey Weinstein name, the Kevin Spacey, the Matt Lauers, I think Les Munez, Charlie Rose name has been brought up. But it's just kind of those names were circling around. But there's plenty others, and we're going to take a look at that. All right? We're going to take a look at that. So I'm going to play some audio. I was going to probably show you the video, but I'm just going to play the audio. And then we're going to get into it, all right? So let me grab this audio real quick. Let me pull up this audio for you guys to listen to. Let me make sure I turn up the volume. All right. So this audio is going to be of Stale King. This is the audio. It's 2 audios. Some of you might have heard it already. Some of you may have not. But there's 2 types of audio. And I also want to say, because I'm gonna save this for the next podcast, but I want to kind of touch in on it so y'all be ready for that next one. Michael Eric Dyson and Mark Lamont Hill. It's time to call y'all out. All right, I'm just gonna leave it at that. We're not gonna play these games of fence riding when you see clearly what's going on. We're not gonna play that. All right, and that's all I'm gonna say for that. Stay tuned for podcast 61. So again, I'm gonna play this audio real fast. I'll play 2 audios, and I want y'all. I'm gonna comment on it, and then we're gonna get into the Zaddy Protection Program list. All right. So here's the first audio.
Traveling around, it was someone that he knew, and next thing you know, he loses his Senate career. That I actually thought that was. Is there no way to have a discussion here? It's a.
One more time.
I look to some degree about Al Franken. I can't even say I know him either, but I just thought he did something that was stupid, immature, and sophomoric. That picture where it looks like he's grabbing a woman's breast. Yeah. But he wasn't touching them. It was just a stupid thing to do. It was back, they were all comedians. They were traveling around. It was someone that he knew. And next thing you know, he loses his Senate career. That I actually thought that was. Is there no way to have a discussion here? It's a.
Now, see what this was an audio clip of Stale King talking about Al Franken and his little sexual situation. And when you listen to it, you guys can look it up and pull it up and look at the video, because I think it'll be important as far as looking at body language on top of her, listening to her tone of voice. When you guys hear that, she's being more forgiving to a degree. She's being more, oh, he was just doing this. Wink, 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 wink. He didn't really touch her. Is there any way we can talk about this? I'm going to play it again so you guys can hear it. But what I want y'all to do is notice the difference between this audio and then the audio with Lisa Leslie. I think that's her name, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to play this one more time, and then I'm going to go right into the other audio so y'all can just hear the difference of what's going on here. And tell me if you're still going to ride with Stale and Okra. Ride with the Stale Okra team.
I look to some degree about Al Franken. I can't even say I know him either, but I just thought he did something that was stupid, immature, and sophomoric. That picture where it looks like he's grabbing a woman's breast. Yeah. But
he looks like he's grabbing the woman's breast. Yeah. Wow, she's really having she's caping for him. Again, one more time, because I really want y'all to get this, man. So I'm going to play it full, all the way through, no comments. I'm going to play the next one all the way through, no comments. And just listen carefully and start thinking for yourself.
I look to some degree about Al Franken. I can't even say I know him either, but I just thought he did something that was stupid, immature, and sophomoric. That picture where it looks like he's grabbing a woman's breast. Yeah. But he wasn't touching them. It was just a stupid thing to do. It was back, they were all comedians. They were traveling around. It was someone that he knew. And next thing you know, he loses his Senate career. That I actually thought that was. Is there no way to have a discussion here? It's a woman as a WNBA player, that his legacy is complicated because of a sexual assault charge which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time. Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Mm-hmm. He was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us?
All right, now you seen how Stale King went in and kept going in and kept doubling and tripling down when it came to Kobe, who was already dead. And then on top of that, how disrespectful she was, because he has a daughter that died with him. And then he has other children that are still alive. what they're going to think about Stale and her behavior of questioning like that when she knew damn well that was disrespectful. Then she came up with these excuses later on. I didn't know. I didn't think CBS or whatever channel that was, they would do that. She knows. She's been riding with them for the longest. She's been riding with them for the longest. She knows how they get down. She knows their get down. So to sit up there with her lame excuse and saying she was upset, I forget her exact words, but her voice didn't even, when you look at her face and look at her talking, she didn't seem like she was upset. She don't even know how to act like she was really hurt or offended that the channel would do that and pull out that one little clip and keep repeating it. We all know that's game. We all know that's nonsense. We all know this. That's real disrespectful, Stale King. And so, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and play this one more time. And again, just listen to the differences when she talks about Al Franken. She's a little more light-hearted. And then when she talks about Kobe, she's serious and trying to get Leslie to go on and say some things that Leslie just, stood on her square. It was like, no, it's not like that. He wasn't like that around me. He didn't do those things. I have other friends who would send me to go over there to get this girl or get that girl. Kobe wasn't one of them. But then she was like, oh, well, you wouldn't know. That's your friends. Well, could we say the same thing about you, Stale, with Okra? Maybe you wouldn't know some things, right? And I also heard that if you guys would look it up, that Okra's dad or stepdad, I don't think she knew her dad, stepdad, has some choice words to say about the both of them, and in particular, Stale King. So apparently, there's a lot of little stuff going on with Okra in her family life, and also with her people she associates with. That's obvious. There's been videos done on that recently as well. And you would think, they would kind of have, or Okra and Stale would kind of think a little bit more about who they talk about, why they're going to talk about them, as opposed to thinking, I'm just being a journalist. That you're not, a journalist goes all the way through. You're going to look into the things, you're going to research. You might even decide if you should or shouldn't say certain things. Out of respect, having a heart. And then on top of that, a thing that hasn't, before I play these two audio clips again, they keep throwing out there, oh, well, Stale did anyway. And then other people kind of chimed in and rode the Stale bandwagon. That the girl, reason why I didn't go anywhere, because she just the victim. Choice words they using, victim. And the reason why she didn't do this, because the victim just decided not to. But if you were a journalist, Stale King, you would have looked into it more and found out why the girl didn't do it. Because when information started coming out, it was starting to look like the girl or the victim at that time was real suspect with her information. Her friends were going to tell on her and testify on her because she was walking around talking about how she had sex and she going with Kobe and probably some other things as well. So the friends were going to testify against her because it was looking like she was doing this all to try to get some money. I think it was all a setup. And then on top of that, the victim, the so-called victim, was found with different semen samples in her pants or her drawers. And so when the prosecution was looking like, yo, I don't think this going to work. So we might want to leave this one alone. But those are the things they not telling you. And so that's a lesson to be learned. Listen to the things they are saying and then start thinking about, so what is it they're not saying? So when Stale made those comments, well, the victim decided not to and da-da-da-da-da. you heard that part, but you had to start thinking, well, what is she not saying? What's going on? Let me look into this case and dig into it a little bit. Let me pull up some articles, some videos, and find out what's going on here. And you might find out some other information and say, oh, now I see what Stale King left out. Now I see what she left out. Right? Then you can kind of start drawing your pictures together. Connecting the dots and putting your pieces together. All right. So one more time, listen closely, and then we're gonna go on to some some other fun stuff here. So I want you to listen closely again to Stale King when she talks about Al Franken. Listen to the tone of voice. Listen to, hey, can we work something out? And then listen to when she talks to Miss Leslie when it comes to Kobe. And by the way, let me say this too. Again, I'm going to touch on it again on my next podcast. Again, I might do it in a couple of days. I might do it in a week. Who knows? I might do it again later on today. My next podcast episode. Who knows? But when Snoop made the comment that he made, I'm going to say this. Snoop has a daughter, I think, 1 or 2. He has a wife and he has a mom. He has some boys as well, but I'm talking about the women's side. I know of a daughter for sure. His wife, his mom. All right. When he said the comment that he said, I even knew he literally was not going to go out there, whether himself or send somebody after Stale King. So a lot of people is taking that as a deflection to get off of what Stale King said. Let's just keep that 1,000. They're going to use that as a deflection. Oh, Snoop threatened, da-da-da-da-da. And then, of course, Susan Rice made her little comments. And again, like I said, the next podcast, we're going to get it in on her too. So you safe right now, Miss Rice. But, yeah, so they'll take Snoop's comment and try to put that like, oh, but then in the interview on Today's Show, you know, Oprah kind of chopped that down and she probably didn't realize she did it and brushed that comment off. And again, like I said, if there were some threats being made to Stale King, they would look for whoever made those threats. And you'll see on the news real quick who made the threats or who they said made the threats, whether true or not. That would be coming out real quick if that was really the case. And again, like I said, what Snoop said, I know that he didn't mean he's literally gonna do that. When he was saying what he said, simply means he's gonna keep on going in on Stale King. We're gonna keep on going down her neck in okra, not physical, meaning we're gonna get out here on social media and we're gonna keep on blasting them and keep pulling out whatever lies they are telling. That's what he meant. For those who pretending they don't know what he meant. Because like I said, I don't see him trying to go walking up on them and just start swinging on Stale King or okra. He has a mom that's black as well, a daughter and a wife that's black. So I don't see that happening. Plain and simple. So hopefully that has been cleared up on that. He don't have to go out and clear himself on what he meant. People who got common sense know exactly what he was saying and know exactly what he meant. It's like what we're doing today. We're going in, we putting in that work on Stale King and okra, Winfrey. We putting it in on Stale and okra, Stale okra. That's what we doing. We putting our necks down on them in the sense of putting out podcast shows, getting on social media and saying how messed up she was for doing that. And doesn't Stale have a son? Just think about that. If I'm not mistaken, I think she has a son. Stale King. Would she want somebody to go in on her son like that? When let's say her son was accused, I think she got a son. If I'm If I'm mistaken on that, then so be it. I stand corrected. But I thought she had a son or some type of male somebody. But just imagine if she does, just imagine her son gets falsely accused about something, and then everybody keeps asking her about it 1,000 times, and then wait 10 or 20 years later and ask her some more when he's been acquitted of that or found not guilty of what he was accused of. Just imagine that. I mean, either she's stupid or she just trying to play a game. Or, of course, like everybody's been saying, there's some other people in the background pulling the puppet strings and having them do as they are told. So you have that dynamic of it as well. Right? So again, let me play these 2 audio clips so you guys can hear it for yourself. You can always look it up. Look up an interview where Stale King and Dr. Phil were talking about Al Franken. All right. Look it up so you can watch her body language and on top of listening to her voice. And then, of course, pull up the interview with she and Leslie talking about Kobe. So let's play this one more time, and then we're going to get into the rest of the show.
I look to some degree about Al Franken. I can't even say I know him either, but I just thought he did something that was stupid, immature, and sophomoric. That picture where it looks like he's grabbing a woman's breast. Yeah. But he wasn't touching them. It was just a stupid thing to do. It was back, they were all comedians, they were traveling around, it was someone that he knew. And next thing you know, he loses his Senate career. That I actually thought that was, is there no way to have a discussion here?
All right, now listen to this.
That his legacy is complicated because of sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time. Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Mm-hmm. He was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to convince Lisa, but you wouldn't see it. But you wouldn't see it. When it comes to Al Franken, he was just being like one of the boys, and he didn't really touch the woman. Wink, wink, womp, womp. Because anything we could work out, he was a comedian on the road. But when it comes to Kobe, come on, Lisa. You wouldn't see it. That's your friend, Lisa. He was accused and the victim. I don't think it's in this particular clip, but she goes and says, well, yeah, the victim, she just didn't testify.
I just don't believe that. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us?
And my thing is, if she's going to ask that question, is it a fair thing to talk about it, even though he's no longer with us? Lisa should have yelled in her face, hell no. You should know the damn answer to that question. You sound stupid asking the question. Plain and simple. So, you guys want to listen back to the show later and listen to those clips again. You can hear the differences and the wordplay and all that stuff. And then you can again do, after you hear it, go look it up where you can see the videos yourself and look at it. Look at the demeanor, look at her body language, her facial expressions, her behavior, because all of that counts on top of the voice and how the inflections of her voice and the words she chooses. Oh yeah, Al Franken, he just did something stupid. He was just touching, or he didn't really touch him. He was just wink, wink, womp, womp. He was just playing. he was just on the road at that time. When Kobe, the victim, this, and Lisa, you really wouldn't know it. You didn't know it. Like she's trying to convince Lisa in order to make Lisa change her what Lisa believes or thinks. And when you look at the video, I've noticed, this is what I noticed too. This is what I noticed about Stale's interviews with certain people. I notice her demeanor is the same when it comes to certain people. And I notice her choice of words always leads into, or she tries to do her words in a way that she tries to say things in order to kind of make you start thinking or second guessing yourself is what I'm really looking for. She says things to try to make you second guess yourself. And that almost sounds like this is how lawyers do when you testify in court. This also sounds like when you get interviewed by detectives or investigators. They say certain things. They have certain body languages to try to throw you off. That's what it sounds like. It almost makes you wonder if she had that type of training. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Just might be some things she's picked up and learned throughout the years to try to throw people off and make them change their comments. But it's real interesting how she is when it's somebody white and how she is when it's somebody black. The language changes. All right. So with that being said, let's go into today's add-on to the show. Let me pull out this one real quick. Hold up here. Boom. The Zaddy Protection Program. Y'all see all these pictures up here on the screen right now? These are just some of the people that's been really protected and nobody speaks about. But as soon as some black dude is accused, even if it's not true or whether it's true or false, before anything is investigated or looked into deeper, they're already put out there on Front Street. But these people here, some of these people here, let's see who we got here. We got Sean Hannity. We have Bill O'Reilly. Some of these people's names I forget, but we're going to look into it. We have Christina, forget her last name. From what she was accused of, she seemed like to be pretty much of a freak in the government, if I'm not mistaken. There's another lady who was running for some Senate thing or something to that effect. We got Kevin Spacey. You see Epstein, and there's a girl next to Epstein, which is the same picture that's above that picture. We're going to get into her. I think Allison Mack is on this screen here. Let me see here real quick. All right, so you guys can see a little bit better here. Alex Jones had some accusations before. Yeah, so you see Harvey Weinstein in there with these dudes. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah. So let's take a further look into this, shall we? Let's take a further look. What I'm going to show you guys right now, we're going to go into it. It's a nice, lovely little list here. All right. Let's get down. All right, here we have you guys see on the screen here, we have arts and entertainment, media, business tech, politics, and other. Let's see if we can get in there. Now, I'm going to say this also. I'm going to tell y'all just right off the back, right off the jump. You can get mad if you want to or whatever. There are some black people in here in all of these, and in most of these, but they're not. You can probably count all the black people that's on these particular lists probably on just both your hands. You wouldn't need another extra pair of hands, but the rest of them are not black. And so if I ever come across any black ones, I'm going to do what Okra does and what Stale does. They don't talk about them. They just talk about the black ones. So if I come across a black name and the picture shows up and it's a black person, we're just going to skip them and do exactly what Okra and Stale do. And you guys can go later on and look them up. I'm not too much going to focus on them because that's all the media and everybody does anyway. They look at the black guy or if it's a black woman involved. I don't think there's any black females involved in any of these lists. But and there's a lot, so I don't know if I'm even going to get through going through all of them. I might just go through random. But you guys see the names up here. So you guys can go to, you can do this. If you want to look this up yourselves, and where you can go out and take pictures and snap them and put it on your Instagram to show everybody, or your Twitter or your Facebook. Just type in one of these names you see on the screen or one name that I mentioned, and then type VOX for Vox. And on here, you guys see it's vox.com. So you can even do that. You can put in the search box on Google, put in Vox and then type a person name like Frankie Shaw. And what'll happen is this, you'll see this website will pop up as many choices to pick from. And then you just click on the Vox thing and then you get to see all of this whole list. And most of these, let me just look through this real quick. Go back, because there's a whole bunch more. We can go back to the 1900s, but we're not going to do all that. We're just going to go a few years back. So the earliest edit there, which is there goes Neil deGrasse. We're not going to even focus on him. That's a black person. But I'm going to do like what they do. They overlook the white ones and they pull out the black. So we're going to just do the reverse. We're going to overlook the black ones. Y'all can look it up yourselves if you want. I'm overlooking them, and I'm just going to pull out the white ones that are protected in this Zaddy Protection Program. So it goes back from at least from 2014 up until today. All right. Which I think that's a good, nice little amount. It goes up to 2018, really, not 2019 or this year. So, and again, there's some females in here. Here we have Frankie Shaw. Let's just start off with her. Multiple staffers have said she mishandled sex scenes, and one says she took off her own shirt in a dispute over on-screen nudity. And you look over here at the left, she uses this idea of being feminist and a progressive as camouflage. All right, that's one. Let me see. Let me do another female here because there's not too many. I'm going to do another one after that. Asia Argento. A man says she sexually assaulted him when he was 17. She has been fired from X Factor, Italy. And I guess this must be an actor. I don't know. I don't know if this is the person that happened to back then or not. But it says, my trauma resurfaced as she came out as a victim herself. So it must have been the person she apparently sexually assaulted, a 17-year-old male. Let's go to Allison Mack. Allison Mack, check this out. I think she might have been down with the Epstein crew. Allison Mack, she has been charged with sex trafficking in connection with allegations that she recruited women to become slaves in the group NXIVM. I don't know if those letters individually stand for a name or if that's the actual name of the group. So she was charged with sex trafficking for recruiting women to become slaves. Now she's recruiting women to become slaves. I don't hear any of the Me Too women talk about Allison Mack. I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it myself at all. Where did they have any outrage? And this was 2018. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything personally. Now, this is a woman recruiting other women to become a slave, sex slave at that. Or slaves just to do work. And we don't know what type of women she recruited. We don't know what race, if they were black, white, Spanish, or a mixture of all. We don't know. But I'm sure you can look that up. Over here it says Miss Mack was one of the top members of a highly organized scheme which was designed to provide sex to NXIVM co-founder Keith Raniere. That's from Assistant U.S. Attorney Moria Penza. Interesting, Allison Mack. You have been protected in the Zaddy Protection Program. Let's look at some fellas here. Let's look at Philip Burke. Philip Burke. Oh, I forgot. Up top it tells you what they used to be or what their job was. He was a former president of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, HFPA. A man has reported that Burke groped him. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association is investigating the incident. I felt ill. I felt like a little kid. I felt like there was a ball in my throat. I thought I was going to cry. That came from actor Brendan Fraser. I guess that was the man that he groped. And we are in the arts and entertainment section of this right now. Let's see here. Let's see one that people have been talking about. Otherwise, I'll try to find some others here. Let's see what's a good one here. Sylvester Stallone. Oh. A woman has reported that he and another man sexually assaulted her when she was 16. That's Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone. I'm kind of scared and I'm very ashamed. I don't want anybody else to have that happen to them, but I don't want to prosecute. Anonymous to the police, according to the Daily Mail. For whatever reason, that sounds like it must have been the girl who was 16. She didn't want anything to happen, but she doesn't want to prosecute. I wonder why. Let's see, Richard Dreyfuss. Whoa, in 2017, huh? Richard Dreyfuss, an actor, publicly reported November 10th, 2017. A woman has reported that he sexually harassed her over a period of years, once exposing himself to her. He created a very hostile work environment where I felt sexualized, objectified, and unsafe, says writer Jessica Teich or Teich. All right. And like I said, you guys can look this up. There's a whole bunch of names out here. Let's see if we can find some more if we go to the next topic. Let me see. We got Steven Seagal. Oh, Louis C.K. was brought up. Let's look up Louis C.K. real quick. That was another name I've heard thrown out here and there. Let's see what good old Louis C.K., the comedian, publicly reported November 9, 2017. Multiple women have reported that he sexually harassed them, in some cases by masturbating in front of them. A wide release for his upcoming film and his stand-up special have been canceled. Several media companies have ended their relationships with him. Why you didn't mention? I didn't hear nothing in detail about this dude. His name was just brought up. It was just actually sort of common knowledge in the comedy world. Blank. People made jokes about it all the time, says Rebecca Corey, the comedian. Now, I don't know if she's saying like she was down with it herself or she knew this was going on. It was common knowledge, but it was common knowledge. Why wasn't it brought up the moment that it was happening? Right? And then, of course, we got Harvey Weinstein. I see David Blaine in there. I see Ben Affleck. Let's get it. Let's get into it. Publicly reported October 5th, 2017. Now, I wonder if this is the same stuff that Harvey's kind of starting to see the courtroom a little bit more now. I wonder, 2017 and is now 2020. I wonder. More than 80 women have reported that he sexually harassed, sexually assaulted, or raped them in incidents dating back decades. He has been fired from the Weinstein Company. Ooh, big deal. From Asia Argento, who was I just showed y'all, it says, just his body, his presence, his face bring me back to the little girl that I was when I was 21. When I see him, it makes me feel little and stupid and weak. Now that's Asia Argento, the same chick that I just pulled up. Let me see here. Where you at, Asia? What did you just do? What do you do? Oh. Now, Harvey Weinstein, I guess apparently she was one of Harvey Weinstein's victims, and yet she was sexually a man says she sexually assaulted him. Why isn't a man? He's a kid at 17. So she sexually assaults a 17-year-old male, but then yet wants to talk about what a good old Harvey has done to her or how she feels about Harvey. That's interesting, ain't it? Real interesting. Isn't that interesting? Huh. All right. So let's get into Ben Affleck. Publicly reported October 10th, 2017. 2 women have reported that he groped them. I had to laugh back then so I wouldn't cry, says Hillary Burton, who is an actress. Apparently that might have been one of the women. Very interesting. Now so let's go look at Steven Seagal. We've heard some stuff about good old Steven. We have heard some things about good old All right. Steven Seagal, again, multiple women have reported that he sexually harassed or behaved threateningly toward them. And this is coming from actress Jenny, might be short for Jennifer, Jenny McCarthy. I thought about like I was the last girl that day. How many girls had to take off their clothes? How many girls had to do more? Interesting. Mr. Kung Fu or Mr. Aikido Steven Seagal. Look up Kevin Spacey. Just check him out. Publicly reported October 29, 2017. Multiple men have reported that multiple men have reported that he sexually harassed or assaulted them, and police are investigating. Now, here's an anonymous person says, what he left me with, more than what he took from me, was a sense that I deserved this. And that's the knot I'm still untangling. That's messed up, ain't it? I can go on this list all day. Let's go into the media section and see what we got in the media section. Let's go. Les Moonves, the name that I've been hearing around as well. Let's take a look at good old Les, who was the former CEO of CBS. Les, the former CEO of CBS. Publicly reported August 6th of 2018, multiple women have said he sexually harassed or assaulted them. He has stepped down from CBS. I ain't hear nothing about an investigation. He just stepped down, though. And coming from Ileana Douglas, is an actress and writer, what happened to me was a sexual assault. And then I was fired for not participating. Come on, Les, what's really going on? That's Les Moonves. That's one of the names I've heard mentioned here and there. Let's see. We got Kimberly Guilfoyle, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what Kimberly's been up to. These are all people that's in the Zaddy Protection Program. And we're going to find out what they're being protected from. Kimberly Guilfoyle publicly reported July 27th, 2018. Multiple people have said she showed colleagues photos of male genitals. Why are you doing that? Discussed sexual matters at work or was emotionally abusive. She has left Fox News. Somebody named Yashir Ali says 6 sources said Guilfoyle's behavior included showing personal photographs of male genitalia. She had personal photographs of male genitalia to colleagues and identifying whose genitals they were. What are you doing that for, Kim? Some people don't want to see that. Some people didn't want to know all that. And are those the same genitals that you were having fun with? And then I guess they didn't want to fool with you no more. You wanted to show it around, and you were so stupid to show it to folks who don't care about all that. Interesting. We got Alex Jones. Let's look at him. Let's check him out in media. This might have been a thing, but nobody speaks on him either. Publicly reported February 28 of 2018, a woman has reported that he groped her, sexually harassed her, and made a racist comment toward her. Wonder what race this woman was. As well as created a hostile work environment for other women. There's someone named Ashley Beckford, a former production assistant, Free Speech Systems, said, I knew that he had specifically touched my behind at that moment as a sly come on that other people may not notice. Again, I wonder what racist comments, what race they were. He's the founder of InfoWars. Let's look at old Ryan Seacrest. Some of y'all caping for him. He's another one in the Zaddy Protection Program. February 26, 2018, publicly reported a woman has reported that he sexually harassed and assaulted her, including groping her and grinding his genitals against her. Susie Hardy is the stylist. She says, as proud as I am and as strong as a woman as I am, as smart as I am, and as much work as I've done with therapists, it really affected me. So I guess Susie Hardy must have been one of those people. Let's look at Lauren Stein, or Loren Stein. It's a male. Former editor, Paris Review. Publicly reported December 6, 2017. Multiple people have said he made unwanted advances on them, fostered a workplace culture in which looks mattered more than work, or had sex with subordinates. He has resigned. So we have Deidre Mendelssohn. She says, she's the editor, he wanted us to be pretty. He wanted us to act that role. And if we didn't, we weren't in the light of favor. Interesting. Oh, here's another name that showed up. I see another name, man, in media. Let's look at Charlie Rose. That's a name that's been popping up. Charlie Rose, former anchor, CBS This Morning, former host, Charlie Rose. Publicly reported November 20th, 2017. Multiple women have said that he sexually harassed them. He has been fired by CBS, PBS, and Bloomberg. I got a picture of Bloomberg also. There's a picture of him, I think, with one of the women who was down with the Epstein crew. Just to let y'all know. Anyway, this is from an anonymous person to the Washington Post. Everybody is terrified of him, meaning Charlie Rose. He creates this environment of constant fear. And then he'll shine a spotlight on you and make you feel amazing. Charlie Rose, what you doing, man? What's really going on, Charlie? And we got good old Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer, former anchor of Today's Show. The same Today Show that Oprah was talking to about Gail. I think that's it, right? Today's Show. So publicly reported November 29th, 2017. All right. Multiple women have reported that he sexually harassed or assaulted them, including one who said she passed out during an assault. He has been fired from NBC. An anonymous person to Variety, I guess that's Variety magazine or whatever, it says he couldn't sleep around town with celebrities or on the road with random people because he's Matt Lauer and he's married. So he'd have to do it within his stable where he exerted power, and he knew people wouldn't ever complain. Matt. These are the people that's getting protected that they don't speak about. Let's look at Mike Germano. There's some Spanish people in here too, with some people with some Spanish names. I might have to touch on that as well. Oh, yeah. Let me look at Mike. Let's see what Mike's been up to. Chief Digital Officer, Vice Media. What's up, Mike? Publicly reported December 23rd, 2017. 2 women have reported that he made inappropriate comments or touched them inappropriately. He has been fired. There's a Vice UK workers in an open letter. This is what they said. Many women join Vice at an early and vulnerable point in their career. For some, sexual harassment and conscious and unconscious prejudice have overshadowed their future in journalism and severely damaged their confidence. Damn, Mike, that's messed up. Playboy. It's messed up. Let me see who else we got here. I think the other one might be in politics, the one I'm thinking about. Let's see. Let me go see one more here before we move on. Maybe a couple others. Who knows? Let's see. Did I do Bill and Sean? I think I just mentioned their names. So, Sean Hannity, host of Fox News. Is he still host of Fox News? Publicly reported April 21, 2017, a former Fox News guest has said he asked her to come back to his hotel and did not invite her back on his show after she refused. And it says by Debbie Schulzel, I think that's how it's pronounced, lawyer and blogger. After I said I wouldn't go to his hotel, I was blacklisted from Fox News. So he had this blacklisted, this lady blacklisted, this lawyer and blogger, Debbie Schulzel, I guess that's how you pronounce it, or Schulzel. Is that you, Hannity, Sean? Let's go to Bill. Former host of Fox News, publicly reported April 1st, 2017. Multiple women have said he sexually harassed them. He has been fired from Fox News. Now, former Fox temp worker named Perkita Burgess says it was like street harassment in the office. Street harassment. Now, you using them words, street harassment, Perkita, but that's what type of environment you was developing, Bill. Shame on you, man. Eric Weinberger. How come that name sounds familiar? President. Because I do remember that name from NFL. President, The Ringer, former NFL Network executive producer, Eric Weinberger. Publicly reported December 11th, 2017. A woman has reported that he sexually harassed her. He has been suspended by The Ringer. Suspended. Not thrown in jail, R. Kelly. Just suspended. Not put in jail, Bill Cosby. Eric Weinberger was just suspended from The Ringer. Not immediate jail time on you. So, Jordan Holman and Scott Shoshnick from the Bloomberg said Weinberger sent several nude pictures of himself in sexually explicit text and told Cantor she was put on earth to pleasure me, according to the complaint. Really? Who's Cantor? We need to find out who Cantor is. That's like, wow. But these are all the zaddies that are in the Zaddy Protection Program. Let's go over to business and tech. It's a short list, but interesting nonetheless. Andy Rubin, former Google executive, publicly reported October 25th on 2018. A Google employee accused him of coercing her into oral sex, and a company investigation found her claim credible, according to two Google executives. He resigned from Google in 2014 with a $90 million exit package. The New York Times says she agreed to meet him at a hotel where she said he pressured her into oral sex. Come on, dude. Interesting. Let's see who else we got in the business and tech world. See, these are the names they'll definitely be easier to protect because they don't seem to be like on that high profile tip, even though like Andy $90 million exit package got. Let's look at Caleb Jennings with no picture. So this is something you have to look up on him. Look for a picture of him. Former lead Chicago organizer, Fight for 15, SEIU. Publicly reported October 24, 2017, multiple SEIU staffers reported that he had a sexist attitude and physically assaulted a female staffer who was later fired. A criminal court found him not guilty of assault. He has been fired. And the four Chicago organizers in a mail to SEIU's president says the sexist and aggressive attitude of Caleb Jennings has created a toxic environment and fear inside the office of the FF15. That's Caleb Jennings with no picture. Look him up. Let's go with Howie Rubin. I don't know if he's related to Andy Rubin or not. I don't know. It says former portfolio manager, Soros Fund Management. Is that George Soros' company? Publicly reported November 3rd, 2017. 3 women have reported that he raped and beat them. Jeremy Salon, a lawyer for one of the women, says, while arrogance and self-import may convince certain men otherwise, neither money nor power gives any person the right to victimize a woman. That's the Zaddy, who's in the Zaddy Protection Program that people like Okra and Stale don't mention. Let's see here. Who's Steve Wynn? Steve Wynn, founder, Wynn Resorts, former finance chair, Republican National Committee. Publicly reported January 27, 2018. Dozens of people have said that he pressured female employees to perform sex acts, exposed himself, or engaged in unwanted touching. He has resigned from the RNC and from Wynn Resorts. It says Sean Cardinal, former personal assistant to Wynn's ex-wife, I was not brave enough to say, how dare you? No, at least he was being honest. Let's see here. Yeah, these guys are easy to hide because of the business and tech category. Let me see who this is. Demos Parneto. Sound like a Spanish name. With the picture removed, but you can probably get him. He's the former CEO of Barnes & Noble. All right. Publicly reported August 28th, 2018. A former employee said he sexually harassed her. He was fired for this and other violations of company policies, according to Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble Board of Directors says Parneros was terminated for sexual harassment, bullying behavior, and other violations of company policies. But I don't hear no documentaries being done on them. Let me do this dude. Amit Singhal. I know that's an Indian dude. Or Amit Singhal, former Google executive. Publicly reported October 25th, 2018. An employee said that he groped her, according to 3 people briefed on the incident. He resigned and received an exit package worth millions of dollars, they said. New York Times says in 2015, an employee said Mr. Singhal groped her at a boozy off-site event attended by dozens of colleagues, said 3 people who were briefed on the incident. Interesting. Let's go into the politics. And I'm trying to find a particular name first. If not, I'm going to go back and search. Oh, yeah, there she go. Politics. Let's look at Christina Garcia. Interesting lady. California State Assembly member, Democrat. Christina Garcia. Publicly reported February 8, 2018. Where the feminists at? Where the Me Too ladies at? Multiple men have reported that she groped them or made unwanted advances. Wow, I didn't know she got down like that. An anonymous person to the Politico said, she looked at me for a second and said, I've set a goal for myself to F you. And you can see the word on the screen, what the F means. She looked at me for a second and said, I've set a goal for myself to F you. Christina, you ain't had to go through all that. You could have just went to the hood and hollered at some people. You'd have got what you wanted. I'm pretty sure. And we got Donald Trump in here. Let's look at it. I'm sure everybody knows stuff on him. President of the United States publicly reported October 15th of 2017. More than a dozen have accused him of sexual assault, harassment, or other misconduct. Jessica Leeds, businesswoman, says he was like an octopus. His hands were everywhere. Oh, his hands were everywhere. And right above that, you see George Bush. Let's see. We got Tony Mendoza. Let's see what Tony Mendoza was up to. California State Senator, Democrat Artesia. Publicly reported November 7 of 2017. Multiple people have said that he behaved inappropriately with female legislative fellow and other staffers. He is under investigation and has been stripped of his leadership positions. Patty Mendoza. Let's go into George Bush. What happened to him? Y'all know about this. I think y'all heard about this. Multiple women have said he groped them during photo ops. That's been mentioned a little bit, former president. Christina Baker Klein, novelist, says, at the very moment when I was feeling honored to be recognized for my work and to raise money for this important organization that I believe in, President Bush made clear to me that because I am a woman, I can be objectified, sexualized, reduced to a body part. There you go. There you go. All right, let's see what else we got here in the politics section. Let's see if there's anybody else familiar. Some of you might be more familiar with these names than I am. Let's see. Let's look down the list here. And then after we do that, I'm going to go over the other list, and then we're going to just call it a day because I can be here. There was Brett Kavanaugh. We're going to look at that in a second. But I could probably be here for a few more hours if I went over every last one of them. All right. Let's see. Before we go into Kavanaugh, let's see what else we got here. We did Christina. Let's go to Tony Cardenas. Tony Cardenas, U.S. Representative, Democrat, California. Publicly reported April 27, 2018. A woman has sued, alleging that an unnamed elected official sexually assaulted her when she was a teenager. Cardenas has confirmed he is the subject of the suit. He confirmed it, though he denies the allegations. Dakota Smith of the Los Angeles Times says the suit alleges sexual battery, assault, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Interesting. Let's go to good old Brett. I think we know what this might say. Publicly, Brett Kavanaugh, Supreme Court Justice, Publicly reported September 14 of 2018. A woman has said he sexually assaulted her. Another has said he thrust his genitals in her face without her consent. And others have said they witnessed abuse or inappropriate behavior by him. After a hearing and FBI investigation into some of the allegations, he was confirmed to the Supreme Court. Christine Blasey Ford, psychology professor, says, I thought that Brett was accidentally going to kill me. Wow. Okay. We got a female here. Andrea Ramsey, former candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives, Democrat of Kansas. Publicly reported December 15th, 2017. And it states a man has reported that she sexually harassed him and retaliated when he rejected her advances. She has dropped out of her congressional race. We got some little hot women out here that be in government. I'm sure if they look all right, they wouldn't have too much problem. They don't, maybe them dudes in government don't rock like that. They could just probably come out in the regular world and holler at somebody. Instead, they want to put their whole careers in jeopardy. So Gary Funkhauser, former employee of Lab 1, says, after I rejected her, so it's him, she told me she now was hearing bad things about my performance, and on June 13, 2005, terminated my employment. Wow, that's how you get down, Andrea? Interesting. But again, you don't have to do all that. Just come out. There's plenty of dudes out that will holler at you. You ain't got to do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Albert Alvarez. No picture. Former Chief of Staff, New Jersey Schools Development Authority. Publicly reported October 10, 2018. A woman has said he sexually assaulted her when they both worked on New Jersey Governor Philip Murphy's campaign. He has resigned from his position with the New Jersey Schools. Katie Brennan, Chief of Staff, New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency, says, I straight up said, this is not consensual. There you go. All right. Let's look at one more, and then we're going to go into the other section here. Eric Bauman, former chair, California Democratic Party, publicly reported November 28, 2018. Multiple people say he made sexually explicit comments in the workplace and other professional settings and engaged in unwanted touching. He has resigned. Grace Leakley, temporary party staffer, said, I felt really embarrassed, almost ashamed, and uncomfortable. Interesting. So there's so many zaddies and zadettes that's been in this Zaddy Protection Program, and they out here. But the only people that seem to get jumped on are the black ones. Let's see what Nick Sawyer, former state representative, Illinois, Republican 51st District, publicly reported August 1st, 2018, an ex-girlfriend has said he posted nude photos of her on a fake Instagram account without her consent. He resigned. Kate Kelly, the ex-girlfriend of Nick, says Nick would use a fake Instagram account to direct message men with my photos to engage in graphic conversations of a sexual nature. So you trying to holler at other men and have sexual conversations with these men about your ex-girlfriend, her nude pictures. Interesting. Alex Kaczynski, I don't know who that is, but let's take a look. Retired judge, U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. Publicly reported December 9, 2017. Multiple former employees have said he showed them pornography, touched them inappropriately, or made inappropriate sexual comments to them. he has retired. Emily Murphy, former clerk, said, "It wasn't just clear that he was imagining me naked. He was trying to invite other people, my professional colleagues, to do so as well." Wow. This is your people in politics. Right? So here's some names. Again, you guys can see all these names here. Okay. As you guys can see. There you go. I'm going to go into other. And let's take a look at some names. And then we're going to bounce up out of here. The first one is lit up. Cody Wilson. 3D printed gun activist. 3D printed gun activist Cody Wilson, publicly reported September 19, 2018. He has been charged with sexual assault of a minor in connection with allegations that he paid an underage girl for sex after meeting her on the website Sugar Daddy Meet. Affidavit for arrest warrant for Cody Wilson. It says, victim stated while she was inside room 718, she and Wilson engaged in sexual intercourse and oral sex on the hotel room's bed. Wow, Sugar Daddy Meet. Interesting. Let's see who else we have here. Is there any other women here? I think I might have skipped a couple of women. These people, I don't even know who these people are, but let's check them out. They are protected by the Zaddy Protection Program. Never mentioned. Look at Muhammad Mukhtar. I don't know who that is. Name publicly reported January 17, 2018. A former student athlete has said he sexually assaulted her, and another has said he behaved inappropriately. He is on administrative leave from the university. Lashia Clarendon, WNBA player, says, "I want the shame to not be my own anymore. I want the shame to fall on him." All right. Now, I don't know if this is a black dude or Arab dude or what, but since his picture is missing, I just went on and did it. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. Jorge Dominguez. Another picture blocked out. Jorge Dominguez, former professor of government, Harvard University, publicly reported February 27, 2018. More than a dozen women have reported that he subjected them to unwanted touching or other inappropriate behavior. In cases spanning decades, he has announced his retirement from Harvard after being placed on administrative leave. Terry Carl, professor, says, "I became physically afraid of him." I guess it's one of the women. She was physically afraid of him. Let's see. Andre Balaz, president and CEO of Andre Balaz Properties, publicly reported November 9, 2017. Multiple women have said he groped them. An anonymous person said, "I was humiliated." I guess it's one of the people he groped. All right, let's see. Alec Klein, picture missing. Professor of Medill School of Journalism, Northwestern University, publicly reported February 7, 2018. Multiple women have reported that he subjected them to unwanted touching or advances or other inappropriate behavior. He has taken a leave of absence. 10 of Klein's former students in a letter to Northwestern officials wrote, "Some of us have had to seek counseling and therapy in the aftermath of his behavior. This has to stop." Let's look at Paul Shapiro. Let me see what you about, Paul. Former vice president of Farm Animal Protection, Humane Society of the United States, publicly reported January 30th, 2018. Multiple former co-workers said he asked them to have sex or made inappropriate comments. He was reassigned to a new job with the Humane Society and has since left. You have Alexandra Burry, of Humane Society employee, said, "You believe these guys are the heroes. You believe they're going to be compassionate because they're speaking up for animals, and you trust them." Well, okay. There you go. Let's see. Who else we got here? Francisco Ayala. Former professor, Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology, UC Irvine. Publicly reported June 28, 2018. Multiple women have said he sexually harassed them. He has resigned from UC Irvine. Looks like Misha Starr Liberty, attorney for women who filed complaints against Ayala, says there were conversations people had like, stay away from him. Don't be alone with him. Don't be in an elevator with him. All right. Let's see who else we got here. These are all the people being protected in the Zaddy Protection Program. All right. Yeah, didn't know there was a program out. It's not the witness protection, but it's the Zaddy Protection Program. All right. We got Mike Isabella, chef for Mike Isabella Concepts. Publicly reported March 19th of 2018. 2 women have said Isabella subjected them to sexual comments, sexist slurs, or unwanted kissing. A PR firm and the Washington Nationals have cut ties with his company. Chloe Cadas, former manager of Mike Isabella Concepts, says, "I tried to walk away and he followed me into the kitchen calling me a bitch." Oh, there you go. He's a bad man, ain't he? Let's look at Eric Guerrero. Professor Suzanne Dworak Peck School of Social Work, USC. Publicly reported, he has no picture shown here, so you have to look his picture up. Publicly reported October 25th, 2017, 2 students reported that he made unwanted advances or behaved inappropriately toward them. He has received a suspension and will be temporarily barred from teaching doctoral students. Temporarily barred and received suspension. Bill Cosby went to jail on something with no evidence at all. Interesting. He was it says Carissa Fenwick, doctoral student, says he was the person who was in charge of basically everything I was doing at that moment professionally. Whatever she's hinting to on that, I don't know. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Did I do Paul Shapiro already? Yeah, I think I did him. Let's see. William Jacoby. No picture. Look him up. Political science professor, Michigan State University. Editor, American Journal of Political Science. Publicly reported April 17, 2018. 2 former students have reported that Jacoby sexually harassed them. The allegations are the subject of multiple investigations, and Jacoby has announced he will step down from the American Journal of Political Science. And Rebecca Gill, political science professor, says he asked if I would consider having an affair with him, suggesting that it would be good for my career to work with him. William Jacoby, what's up, man? Lawrence Krauss. Let's see what old Lawrence is up to. Physics professor, Arizona State University, prominent skeptic. Publicly reported February 22nd of 2018. Multiple people have reported that he groped women, made sexist jokes, or engaged in other inappropriate behavior. Several organizations have canceled upcoming appearances by him. The letter A, don't know what that stands for, what name it stands for, said to the BuzzFeed News, he put his hand on again. I crossed my legs. He put his hand on again. All righty. Then we got Andy Savage. We got the Savage, Andy Savage, pastor of High Point Church, publicly reported January 5th of 2018. A woman has reported that he sexually assaulted her when she was 17. He has resigned from his church and his upcoming book release has been canceled. Jules Woodson says, the fear, shame, anger, and hurt consumed me. Let's go with Michael Feinberg, co-founder of KIPP Schools or KIPP Schools, publicly reported February 22nd, 2018. A student has reported that he sexually abused her when she was a minor, and an investigation found evidence that he sexually harassed female employees. He has been fired. The KIPP, in a letter sent to school community, said, we believe that Mr. Feinberg's actions were incompatible with the leadership qualities that are essential to our mission. Let's see here. Bill. We got Bill Hybels. Bill Hybels, founder and former senior pastor, Willow Creek Community Church. Publicly reported March 23rd, 2018. Multiple women have said Hybels made inappropriate comments or engaged in unwanted touching or hugs that made them uncomfortable. He has resigned. All right. So, Vonda Dyer, former leader, Willow Creek Vocal Ministry, says, for the sake of the other women and for the sake of the church, I cannot stay silent. All right. Let's look at maybe one or two more. Just depends here. Let's see who this is. Let's find somebody with a picture. You got a lot of these have their pictures taken out. Ron Carlson, author, former professor, Department of English, UC Irvine, former teacher, Hotchkiss School, publicly reported August 28, 2018. He has been accused of sexual misconduct, including kissing and touching with a female high school student at Hotchkiss in the mid-1970s. He has resigned from UC Irvine. A report to the Board of Trustees of the Hotchkiss School says Carlson often kissed and fondled student 17 when they were alone. All right. And so that's all I'm going to hit on. You guys see the site right here. Check it out. They give you some names, and then you scroll down, all the way down, and then you can check out the different categories here. You got arts and entertainment, media, business tech, politics, and other, and just look through the names. All the zaddies and zadettes who have been protected in the Zaddy Protection Program. They got Ron Jeremy. Let's look at Ron Jeremy real quick. Michael Douglas. I think his name. Did I do him already? And there's some women in here too. So that one who was like trying to get the women, that's crazy. I think it was Allison Mack. I think. Let me see. Yeah, she was recruiting women to become sex slaves. Allison Mack. Oh, let's see what Melanie Martinez. Oh, yeah, we forgot about her. Singer-songwriter. A woman said, this is a woman saying this now. A woman said that Martinez raped her. It says, Timothy Heller, singer, says, I never said yes. Well, it must have been a man or something. I said no repeatedly, but she used her power over me and broke me down. Wow. Okay. Now, I don't know if Timothy is a female because it says a woman has said that Martinez raped her. So I don't know if it's a typo or if it's correct and that Timothy is actually a male, or if this is Timothy saying that another singer has said this about Melanie Martinez. All right. Albert Schultz, actor, artistic director, Soul Pepper Theater Company. Multiple women have reported that he committed sexual battery or sexual harassment against them. He has taken a leave of absence from the Soul Pepper Theater. Patricia Fagan, the actress, says, I didn't have a name for it at the time, but I did fall into a depression. Stan Lee. I didn't know Stan Lee got down. He was accused in 2018. Publicly reported January 9th, 2018. Multiple nurses have accused Lee of sexually harassing them while they were caring for him, and another woman has alleged that he masturbated in front of her and groped her. An anonymous person said to the Daily Mail, the owner at the nursing company has openly said to people that Stan has sexually harassed every single nurse that has been to the house. Wow. Old Stan was a wild boy. That ain't cool. They got David Copperfield, Scott Baio, Michael Douglas. I think his name might have been thrown out there. Publicly reported January 18, 2018, a woman has reported that he sexually harassed her and masturbated in front of her. A Susan Brody, is a writer, says, I realized he thought he could do anything he wanted because he was so much more powerful than I was. Remember people were saying that about Bill Cosby? Oh, I didn't say nothing and do nothing because he was so powerful. They saying the same thing about the Zaddies. James Levine. Oh, yeah, James Levine. He's on this picture. Former conductor of the Metropolitan Opera. Publicly reported December 3rd, 2017, multiple men have reported that he, James Levine, sexually abused them. Multiple men now have reported that James Levine sexually abused them. Some when they were teenagers. He has been fired from the Metropolitan Opera, and the Ravinia Festival has cut ties with him. Ashok Pai says, I saw him as a safe, protective person. He took advantage of me. He abused me, and it has really messed me up. All right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I'll be here all day if I were to read all of these Zaddy accusations. All right. So you guys look it up. Go to vox.com or type in any of the names you heard me mention and then type the word VOX next to it, and that website should show up. All right. It should show up, and you'll be able to look those things up as well. All right. So with that being said, I thank you guys for coming in. I hope this is awakened some folks so they won't be tongue-tied when it comes to throwing out names and bringing up stuff. When people want to start bringing up black males' names, you can bring up all this names, or you can just bring up, hey, there's a whole list of y'all, men and women. All right. So keep that in mind. And again, we thank you for checking out, watching, and listening to Thoughts of the Week podcast. Stay tuned for podcast 61 because we're not done. All right. There's some people that still need to be mentioned, but I think it's appropriate for that particular podcast. All right. Yes, indeed.
You're listening to Thoughts of the Week.
Yes, indeed, folks. So we appreciate y'all.
How's that?
Thank y'all for coming in. And we will see you again on the Thoughts of the Week podcast. All right? Peace. I'm out.